Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Fun hour coming up in 15 minutes. We'll get your reaction to biggest betting whiffs in your career. Bottom of the hour, Thor Nystrom is going to join the program. We'll talk NFC North and Minnesota Vikings with him. Here we head out to the Progressive Guest Line. Jeff Sealey joins the program to give out best bets with analysis for the Wynham Championship. You can follow him on X. He is at Cupmaker Jeff, and the Cupmaker podcast is going to come out next week. Pal, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. So it's a par 70. My God, it's 7,100 yards. I might play well on this course. So what kind of guy are you looking at this week because of that?
Well, you know, what's interesting, Mitch, is really it brings so many people into play, right? When you play some courses that are just super long and it's difficult, or Augusta National is a good example, right? There's only a handful of people that can win at Augusta National. This tournament, when it's this short, and if you can keep it in the fairway, it brings a whole lot of people into play. So it makes for an interesting handicap this week, and one I think we're actually going to find some really good value.
All right. My guy now. I'm off the bandwagon. The last couple tournaments have been rough, but how about Ben Griffin? Can we get back on the bus?
They have been rough, Pauly, but I'll tell you what, I mean, he struggled the last 2 weeks, but as you know, absolutely on fire prior to that with a win and 5 top 15s. Just an easy name to click this week. Number 2 overall in my models. And really, there's nothing really wrong with his game. Even in the last 2 weeks, he just putted poorly. So if he can get the putter back on track, he grades out really well. I think he could rebound and get back in the form he was a few weeks ago. So again, at 25-1, I think it's a great price for Ben Griffin. And guys, it's not every week. It's very seldom, actually, that we get my number 1 rated player in the field at 30-1. But what a juicy price on Hideki Matsuyama. I mean, this guy is easily, just pure class, the best player in the field in terms of the last, 2, 3, 4 years. And he's been awful off the tee his last few events. But that's not really a thing here, right? You're gonna be hitting less than driver on a ton of holes here, and his iron play has been absolutely electric. He's averaged over 4 strokes on approach over the past 4 events, and an event like this where you use less than driver a lot of time, it's exactly what you want. And the putting's been really good with Hideki. That's usually a big issue. The last 4 months, he's been gaining an 8 out of 9 of his events. I think it's a great time to buy low on Hideki. 25-1 in the winner without market too, I think is a steal. So I'm all over Hideki this week.
Think about that for a second, Jeff. He's your number 1 rated golfer in the field. You said probably not close. You go back the last couple of years, that makes sense. And he's not even listed in the winner without market this week.
I know. I was worried about that when I clicked on that at first, Mitch, and I saw he wasn't in it, and then I saw he's 25-1. I'm like, this is my first bet of the week. It was. Yeah, I think that's a terrific bet this week. Okay, so you're also on a former winner here, in really good form, loves the course. Tell us what you want to do overall with Lucas Glover. Yeah, guys, he's 35-1, as you mentioned, Mitch. He's in great form. Finished 23rd at the Open and 2 top 10s prior to that. So I think that's helping to deflate his price a little bit here. That's why we're getting 35-1. But as you said, he's won here, a less than driver course that can turn into a wedge fest. You want a guy like Lucas Glover, super comfortable here, 30-1 in the winner without markets, 35-1 outright. I think you just play him in the winner without just in case he finishes top 5 or so. So I really do. I like Lucas Glover. And what if I told you could get the number 1 guy in the field, strokes gained tee to green over the last 2 events at 60-1? And that's exactly what we have with Rico Hoey this week. His splits are pretty phenomenal. He gained 16 strokes tee to green over his last 2 events, and he lost 11 strokes putting. So it's like you almost have to try to putt this bad. I don't remember the last time I saw someone putt this bad over 2 weeks. But what gives me faith at all that to play him this week, he gained 3.4 strokes on these greens last year at the Wyndham. So if the ball striking keeps up and he can gain 3.4 strokes putting this week, he's going to win this event 60-1. Great price on Rico Hoey.
All right. And so the ladder job there with him as well?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think the fear though is, Mitch, right, is that if he putts like he has, then he may not make the top 20.
That's,
so
yeah, true.
if I'm
There you
in a
go.
ladder, I'm probably just going to play it 10-5 and outright, because if he gets hot, he's gonna sweep the top 10 market.
All right, you have one major bomb this week, and it's a guy who won on tour really not that long ago. Who is it?
Yeah, guys, Ryan Fox, 80-1, won just 6 weeks ago, and another guy who's struggled with the driver lately. But we're in a course where you don't need to hit your driver, and his irons can absolutely catch fire as well as his putter. So he missed the cut here last year, but he gained across the board everywhere except for putting. Putter's been in really good form for Ryan Fox lately. So at 80-1, very, very interested in this guy. Again, you said it. Guy just won 6 weeks ago on tour. The form's there. What a price on a guy that I think is certainly well within the range of winning this tournament.
Very good. Love the analysis. There you go. Follow him on X. He is at Cupmaker Jeff. Thanks, pal. Best of luck this week. We appreciate that.
Fellas, talk soon. Take care.
Well done.
Be good. There you go. And he was on the progressive guest line. All right. Boy, great cases for all those guys, including Hideki, Lucas Glover, Hoey, Ryan Fox. Going to have a big portfolio this week, I think, in golf.
FTM@vsin.com. Tweet at us your biggest whiff. Some great responses already. Mayweather McGregor.
Oh, don't even.
Yep. It's got to be up there. No doubt about it. Kobe's last game, also from Colin. Jason didn't bet anything on Mayweather McGregor. Colin Murphy. How about Banchero to go number 1 when he shot up to 20-1?
Well, remember, that was because Woj dominated the market.
Yeah. He was saying Jabari Smith, right, or something?
Yes, that's right.
Do I have it right?
His word was as strong as oak,
right.
Much like in Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
And so when he tweeted, we were live on the air at the time. I think it was, I remember this, it was 5:41 a.m. Pacific time. He drops the Woj bomb. We're coming back from a break, like, oh my God, look at this. And Jabari Smith got his high, after that tweet, he got his highs like minus 10,000.
Yeah.
But it did not, it was wrong.
Yeah. Willie Beeman. The ladies are screaming. Are we living one right now? Just bet Scotty Scheffler, top 5 every tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that good?
I guess. Okay, so you just nailed one, Pauly. That's the all-timer. I thought I had a good example with Game 7, Lakers-Kings, after Game 6 was fixed, even though we didn't know about it. The McGregor-Mayweather thing will never get ever again.
No,
that was the best betting event of our lifetime.
It was one of the best boxers ever who's never lost against a UFC guy.
That's right.
And it was, the price was ridiculous.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, that was something.
What do you think about this one? Email ftm@vsin.com from Joe. The Golden Knights after the Vegas shooting tragedy.
Futures?
Well, he said
saying?
their first game at home, they were
Yeah.
$1.20 against the Coyotes. They killed them.
Yeah.
He said
Saints Monday night after Katrina.
Ow!
First game back.
There it was.
Yeah.
There it was. Another great example.
Yeah. Chris Berman. The Steel Curtain Steelers weren't going to beat him that night.
That's right. Oh, that was an all-timer.
Yeah.
I whiffed on that one. I whiffed on thinking of a betting whiff. The
Right.
Saints, that was all-time gold right there, too.
Yep.
They were not losing that
I didn't
game.
see it, but that's...
You didn't see it coming?
Should have been, yeah. It was obvious. There's just the emotion and how they were coming out with their hair on fire, ready to go. They were awesome in that
the
game.
block punt
The
right
block
away.
punt.
It was over.
Yep. Good one.
Joe added that he was broke in college, but he bet his whole account on them. Well, so he did get down on it, but you look at that, you can never handicap human emotion. It's like, how about when, I'm not saying that we all whiffed on this one, but remember when Jose Fernandez for the Marlins got killed?
Yeah.
And then D. Gordon at home, like first at bat,
Yeah.
hits a home run. He's balling around second base, crying his eyes out when he's rounding second base.
Yeah. I know our guy Ozzy's listening too, TMI Ozzy. Can I just say bet against the Minnesota Vikings in every big game? I mean, what have they lost? 9 straight championship games? Yeah. Double-digit favorite, 98, lost at home. Favorite against the Giants, lost like 42-0.
Yeah, you can't trust him.
Favorite against the Saints.
Paul, look what happened last year.
The Keenum go right down the field against the Eagles, up 7-0. Foles, they take them out.
Blown out.
Right? What happened with Darnold?
Oh, this year might be different.
Yeah.
Are you there with McCarthy or no?
No, I'm not.
Here I am. I'm giving you like week after week to come around on J.G. McCarthy, and you won't get there.
Can't do it.
Boy,
I'm carrying a lot of pain.
What's going to happen when he's in the MVP conversation in November?
Come on.
I'll give you. How about this?
Come on.
You want to go completely contrarian? And I've thought about it Like, you've been sitting there, you won't even give McCarthy, a second chance. The two biggest contrarian MVP bets would be, I think, McCarthy on one of them, and I've come around on Aaron Rodgers.
You have not.
How about that?
What's wrong with you?
I think I'm in. I think I'm in.
How?
I'm not going to name names.
After how bad he was with the Jets? You're
blacklisted on Hop Sings, not naming names.
Someone talked you into it, or you just said, I'm doing, you do your thinking on yourself?
The more I yearn,
and drugs?
I sat there, and the more I hear people talk, the more I think that, Rodgers was not awful last year. He was not the reason why they were losing those games, and he does not want to go out on that kind of a note.
Oh, boy. You think you know someone.
This is
that is a shocker.
Great email from Peter. After Brett Favre's dad died.
Oh! Very good.
He went there and played one of the games of his life on Monday night against the Raiders.
Bring up the stat line.
Oh, my God.
Give me the stat line.
Who was his tight end? They were making the craziest catches you've ever... No, before that.
Jermichael Finley?
No, way before that. This is like
Max McGee?
2002. I think it was Max McGee. I think he had 3 touchdowns in that game.
Far. What did he do? Where did he go, though? Come on.
It was the highlight reel from that game. The plays that they were...
Touchdown. 311 yards in the first half alone. 31-7 Green Bay at halftime. Finished with 400 yards.
There you go. Again, you can't a lot of times you can actually handicap human emotion. Is Mike Palm joining the show next?
Coming on, yeah.
He's coming on? Oh, this is going to be great. The Maestro going to make an early appearance with us on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
This is an early week treat. Mike Palm in studio with us. By the way, in 15 minutes, Thor Nystrom, very strong on at least one player in the NFC North. Find out who that is. What's shaking, pal? How are you?
How are you guys? It's good.
Well, a lot of reasons to bring you in here. You're floating around the sports book. Paul, we opened the show with this. His childhood hero was Ryan Sandberg. Grew up watching. Again,
ball player.
We'll never have this ever again. The whole country had WGN on their TV sets in their living room. We only had 20, 30 channels back then. That was it. And they played mostly day games until the late 80s, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you lived. You can come home and watch the Cubs games whenever you, the whole summer, whatever. Everybody who I grew up with, they loved the Cubs. You did too, being from that area. What did Ryan Sandberg mean to you?
Well, there's a lot of fond memories of watching the Cubs growing up. And I was viewing all the tributes last night as the news came in, and Versergian did a good one for MLB Network as well, as did Kirchin. I think the thing about Sandberg that I'll remember most is how much Harry loved him.
Yes.
You'll never hear a broadcaster love a player more than Harry Carey loved Ryan Sandberg. And 30 years before that happened, you'd probably say he'd never hear anybody love the way Harry loved Musial, right, when he was with the Cardinals. But the love he had for Rhino, and a lot of people texting me about Dunston to Sandberg, right, to Grace, Dunston to Sandberg to Grace, and that double play combination. Shawan Dunston kind of gets forgot of, but David Haw, who is on 670 The Score, and he's on the new Chicago Sports Network that covers the White Sox and the Bulls and Blackhawks, I thought wrote something good this morning. He was the reluctant hero, right? He was the guy that never looked for the spotlight, a very unassuming young man from the state of Washington that just had wild success. I know, Mitch, growing up, the only, outside of Saturday, the game of the week, the only games you would see were the Cubs or the Braves, the two superstations, right? And the Braves were awful. Right. I mean, in that era, they were awful. So there wasn't any heroes out of it, and it was at nighttime instead of the daytime. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. He and Harry, his first game with the Cubs was Harry's first game announcing them, and their last games were at the same time as well. What are the odds of that?
No kidding.
First game together and last game together.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And to even have the game named after him, and the Sandberg game, and then the tribute, they gave him the statue on the anniversary, which was, I think, last year.
That's the most memorable regular season game of my youth.
Yes.
You were watching it live?
Saturday. It was Saturday, but we were watching it on NBC. Right? Harry had the call if you were in Chicago, but it was the national game with Costas and Kubek, Tony Kubek and Bob Costas. People forget how unhittable Suter was. Suter was untouchable, a former Cub, right?
That's right.
He was untouchable, and to think that he homered in the 9th and the 10th, and that game was just absolutely crazy. Of course, it's in the middle of the whole magical season. That just never was.
Yeah, blowing it in 5. 9 straight Gold Gloves, 10 straight All-Star appearances, MVP in 84, 123 games without an error, and I think 3-4 years, whatever it was, without a throwing error. What he was, the comments from Grace, and I mean, 5'2" player, the guy could do it all. And also going back, it was unprecedented, like a big year if someone would hit 30 home runs.
No, yeah,
it just didn't
totally
happen
different
back
ballgame.
then.
Let alone
whole different sport back then.
A second baseman.
Right.
Second baseman didn't even get to 20.
Right.
Right.
Good
I
call.
mean, let's be honest. In that era.
Yeah, and we're talking about small ball, and the stolen base was important. Ricky Henderson, the Cardinals, Coleman, McGee, all that. And
Royals, they were all.
win a game 5-4, 3-2, something like that.
Yeah.
Good, Royals as well. So what he did with those numbers for his career, and to retire with the most home runs from a second baseman. How about the father angle? And your dad, I mean, you got to be watching the games with your dad all the time and what he felt about Sandberg.
All the time. He's his second favorite Cub. His favorite Cub was Santo. Ron Santo was my dad's favorite. I saw somebody post a picture of in heaven. There's Harry and Santo having a drink with Ernie and Ryan now. It was an interesting picture this morning. But yeah, never missed a game, my father. If he were out, he had the radio on his shoulder, listening to the radio call of the game. Never missed a Cubs game in his life.
Yeah.
Never missed a game.
Yeah. What'd the guy say from Detroit? Guy's a Tiger fan?
Grew up for his 15th birthday, diehard Tigers fan, right? As a 15-year-old, told his dad he wanted to go to a Cubs game. Never owned a Tigers jersey, but at the Cubs game, he had a Sandberg jersey on.
Wow.
That's how big WGN was. Every game's been on TV now for 20 years. That's like you guys said. Again, Suter was in that game and gave up. Think about that. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, right. Goes deep off him in the 9th and the 10th.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure. You must be feeling pretty good about your Brewers ticket this year.
Well, I
last night.
didn't feel good after the top of the first.
But
the kid hung in there.
He did.
Went over the strikeout prop. You knew he wasn't going to get 5 innings when you throw that many pitches in the first. And Matthew Boyd's been just fantastic all year, and they got to him. Right? And they came back and they rallied and they won again. I mean, I said on Friday's show with Stormy and JVT these were going to be really sneaky series for the Cubs and the Brewers over the weekend, playing the White Sox, the Cubs, and the Brewers playing at home against the Marlins. Sneaky series when you have this big date on Monday to look ahead to the team you're tied with in division, and they were. But let's see what we can do with Priester tonight here and get a little breathing room.
you like him tonight?
I do.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's been really, really good.
He's been terrific.
Are you going to go back to the bread and butter here tonight?
Lugo,
over
yeah, you got to lay the
17.5?
price. Price 145 tonight, though.
Are you
It's pretty stiff. I laid it already.
Did you?
I saw 155 in other places. I laid 145.
Yeah. They got to rock Fetty tonight. Don't you think? Come
Yeah,
on.
but it's Fetty. Fetty couldn't get anybody out for the Cardinals.
I know.
I know.
And they
A lot of
pick him
people like the Royals tonight. People texted me, Royals.
What else you like? Or what else do your people like?
Well, my people. What do my people like? Bullpen game for the Twins tonight. I would look at the Red Sox on the road maybe tonight in this spot. Is this crazy? I'm going to ask you this. Is this crazy to think the Orioles aren't out of it yet?
Okay.
Is it crazy? I'm sitting there watching this morning and saying they sweep a doubleheader today. You know, this team was left for dead, like 18 games back early in the year, right? It was, then all of a sudden Morton rebounds. You get other pitchers come back. Kramer's rounded into form. They're killing the ball. They're hitting like 14 hits a game for the last.
Right. Young team, all these players
I know they have a
healthy
lot
now.
of teams in between them and a wild card.
6.
This team was a dynamite team the last 2 years. Couldn't get out of the first round of the playoffs. I mean, is it crazy to think that they might put their noses in a race here before it's over?
Have you seen the number for them to make the playoffs?
No.
Okay, so it's funny you bring this up. 2 different people today. I messaged and I said, it's unfortunate because their August schedule is absolutely brutal, and you don't know what they're going to do at the deadline this week. But they are absolutely raking right now. I said, what do you think about the Orioles? They're 125-1 most wins in August here at Circa.
What are they to make the playoffs? Did you see that number?
I didn't see a number on that.
Okay.
No. But it's funny that you brought that up now.
That's an interesting number. 125-1.
I think I'm going to take that because you said that.
Well, I mean, that's a number. Schedule, I get it, but that's a number placed on a team that's tanking. 125-1.
Wow. You want to hear their schedule real quick?
Okay.
This will change your mind.
While you're looking at that, what do you think the bigger issue is? 7.5 back or 6 teams to jump over?
No, 6 teams to jump over is the bigger issue.
Yeah.
3 at the Cubs.
But they only got 4 to jump over in the East.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
there'd be
right.
like 11
You're
back
right.
if they sweep this doubleheader.
So here's their August schedule. 3 at the Cubs, 3 at the Phillies.
Okay.
They go back home for the A's and the Mariners.
Okay.
3 at Houston.
Yeah.
2 in Boston. 4 more against Houston. 4 more against Boston at San Francisco.
Is the Houston as bad as you think it thought it was a month ago?
They're getting healthier, though, getting some guys
Are they?
back. They can't hit right now.
They can't hit. Framber was great last night.
Again.
But
Are you afraid of Boston? I want to say yes,
yeah,
but
Boston's a tricky team because
know.
you get Crochet in those series, so it's tough to sweep them.
you got to be afraid
And they're
of
still hanging around Boston, right? They're still. What's Boston? How far out are they right now? I tend to lose sight of them, and then they win a few in a row, and I get back to it.
They
Well,
are
they're the wild card.
Yeah, they're in the
Yeah.
wild card right now.
Half up
so-
on Texas.
We talked about this in the previous segment and earlier in the show as well. Biggest betting whiff that you can remember. I mean, some doozies that we like the Mayweather-McGregor thing. People are saying it was
he
the
did
writing
not
was on
his
the wall.
fault. I mean, he's trying to make bets and he can't get the money. But
What the heck's, yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was any one that I really regretted. I guess everything in retrospect you could find. It's not like I walked up to the window with a bunch of money and said, no, I'm not going to.
You're gonna pass?
I'm not going to pass. I'd have to think about this more.
Well, you're on tomorrow, so.
How about-
Maybe it's the Iowa-Stanford Rose Bowl where McCaffrey ran the kickback.
Yeah.
I was never even competitive in any Rose Bowl.
You remember the point spread in the game?
I think they were 6.5-point dog, Iowa. But I mean, it was over as soon as he ran the kickback, and they
right.
beat him like 45-6. And I thought Iowa is going to have a very small chance of staying close in this game, and I didn't make a big bet on it. And then you cash your ticket in the first quarter.
Not bad. You'll have a list tomorrow.
Saints after Katrina.
Yeah.
That's your big boy, along with
Sounds good.
Mayweather-McGregor.
You cannot be serious tomorrow as well. You want to know where the money's really going? And like other sources, our splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. See the percentage of bets, first percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. You love it. You can't get enough of it. Join now. $9.99 your first month. Exclusive betting splits. VSiN.com/subscribe. $9.99 for your first month. VSiN.com/subscribe.
All right, Michael, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks
I'll
for
be here.
popping on.
Thank you.
There you go. Mike Palm on tomorrow as well. Like Pauly said, we'll have You Cannot Be Serious. More bets on the card for tomorrow as well in Major League Baseball. Up next, Thor Nystrom is going to join the program. He is with Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life, fantasylife.com. He is very strong on at least one player in the NFC North. He'll explain why next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. We're live in downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. Head out to the Progressive Guest Line now. Thor Nystrom joins the program, does a great job for fantasylife.com. You can follow him on X at ThorKU, all over college football and the NFL. Thor, good to talk to you today. Thanks for the time. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. I want to begin here. I'm high on the Vikings this year. We all know how good the division is. I think we all have an understanding of how strong this roster can be this year as well. I think it's one of the best rosters in the entire league. I think the combination of KOC at head coach and Brian Flores at DC is maybe the best in football, certainly top tier. Drawbacks would be the division and the schedule, top 5 hardest schedule going into the league. But I buy into J.J. McCarthy because of what KOC has done with quarterbacks the previous 2 years. For those people who aren't there yet or think that McCarthy just isn't going to be the guy, why do you think they're going to be wrong?
Yeah, the numbers that Vegas dropped initially, and even where they're at now, but certainly when they dropped them initially, it was just way too light. It wasn't reflective of the reality of the roster as it had become. Like you were sort of mentioning, you have one of the NFL's best rosters outside the quarterback position, and you guys know that I love McCarthy. But I think even beyond that, you would have to have pretty rotten quarterback play, I think, for that team not to get to 9+ wins, and they're not going to get it. McCarthy will succeed. I mean, O'Connell has never had his teams have thrown for 4,000 yards or more every year. You guys know the track record. He won games with Josh Dobbs off the street 2 days later. And people have been sleeping on J.J. McCarthy's game, and the way that he sort of gets forwarded is like, oh, the roster's so good around him and it will prop him up. J.J. McCarthy is going to be a star in the NFL. And I think this thing is going to get dangerous and flammable, now and sort of start taking off. But yeah, the 8.5, even the 9.5 number, I think is light.
Super Bowl contender, all of it, you're here for it?
I mean, I think that they're going to win the North, and I think, yeah, they're a dangerous contender in the North. Like, the only hurdle you have to get over with that is, do you believe in the quarterback, right? And or the play caller with them, but the rest of the pieces are there. They fixed everything. They had one of the NFL's worst interior offensive lines last year. Now they have one of the best. They all the resources they put into that. They struggled with short yardage rushing last year and rushing inside the 10-yard line. They addressed that with the trade for Jordan Mason. The interior defensive line has gotten so much better with the signings of Jonathan Allen and Hargrave. All the holes that they had around the roster have been fixed. And if you just assume that the quarterback play is going to be good, and I think it's going to be very good, they're absolutely an NFC contender.
Who challenges them? Detroit, Green Bay, both? Who's the better team?
I mean, in the division, honestly, the team I'm fading is the Lions. I don't like that they lost both their coordinators. You have a head coach that's the CEO motivator type. He's not the X's and O's guy. I think that really hurts. They have a gauntlet schedule themselves. And then they lost stuff, including recently with the interior starting defensive tackle who's out for the season now. I don't think that roster's as good. Their coaching staff is certainly weighed down. I think they're in line for a regression.
Could you see the Lions finishing in last place in this division, Thor?
We always reserve that spot for the Bears, so maybe I'll say third place for the Lions, but that's probably how I would have it right now. Vikings, Packers, Lions, Bears, yeah.
So are you that far down on the Bears going into this season again with Ben Johnson, their new head coach?
Yeah, I think that thing's going to end in disaster, and like from the second that Ben Johnson was fired, I didn't understand it from any angle. First of all, you're Ben Johnson. You've turned down head coaching jobs in the past. You're this guy who's made your name from like this watchmaker type offense that you have that's all based on timing and misdirection, all this sort of stuff. And the quarterback is going to run the concept as called and make the reads as called. Now, the opportunity that you take, it's with a division rival, but not only that, you're locked in with this quarterback who's just a freelancer. Caleb Williams doesn't care the play that you call because he's not going to throw the ball within 3 seconds of the snap, right? Like it's a freelancer guy that wants to dance around and he wants to make stuff up as he goes. It's a playground ball type guy. It is a horrible fit for Ben Johnson. You might as well, it's not a quarterback that ever was going to succeed with Ben Johnson. And so, the fact that there's already issues there, I don't think there's any surprise at all. You're not going to get Caleb Williams to follow your script. I just think it's a really bad fit. And like I said, I think it's going to end in disaster.
Wow. So what are we talking here? What kind of bets do you have on the Bears then? Last place finish, obviously, in the division. Did you go under 8.5 wins?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they dropped the Bears and the Vikings with the exact same win total. You just start laughing. The Bears, I believe it's 12 out of the last 13 years, they have gone under their preseason Vegas win total. Mm-hmm. It's either that or 11 of 12. They always get set up with too high of an expectation. And this one, this was like shooting fish in a barrel because, again, it's this hype coach, but who happens to be a horrible fit for the personnel as you have, the quarterback that you have. So, yeah, that was an easy fade.
Wow. Very strong. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Thor Nystrom. You can follow him on X. He's at ThorKU, FantasyLife.com. They do a terrific job with fantasy football, obviously, throughout the entire year. Not just the NFL season from week 1 to week 18. The entire calendar year was what we're talking about here. We discussed this division about an hour ago. Pauly asked me about the Packers, why I'm not buying them as a team that could win the division. I said, because I'm still not there yet with Jordan Love. He's still got to prove it to me. I haven't seen enough from him. Where are you at with him?
I think that's fair. Yeah, you have a mediocre wide receiving core, and you don't have to take our word for it. Josh Jacobs said they didn't have the wide receiver one. They finally elect to use a first-round pick on that. They used Matthew Golden. I think Matthew Golden's going to be a really, really good NFL wide receiver, too. He's not an alpha wide receiver one, and I don't think he's going to develop into that. So you still have sort of that issue, and so their offense probably going to remain around what we've seen it at. That's fine. But on defense, you have this travesty of a cornerback room right now. their cornerback room wasn't good last year, and now Jair Alexander's gone. Their CB2, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but a couple of days ago, it was like the Valentine guy was number 1. Their cornerback 2 in practice that day was Bo Melton, the converted Rutgers wide receiver that they've kicked over to cornerback because they don't have any bodies out there. Like, they're going to get shredded through the air. It's the thing that you're concerned about with Green Bay. They're solid up front, but in the back end, that's an issue in a division where you have Justin Jefferson and Addison and the Lions' high power passing attack, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. Is there a play to be made here, like in the division with a season-long player prop? Our buddy, your buddy, Paul Charchian, weeks ago told us to shop around for Jordan Mason futures in terms of scoring touchdowns. We did just that. Is there anything there with him that you like, or anybody else in this division that you think is worthy of a bet?
Yeah, I saw the show that day. That the odds were crashing as Charchian was saying it. It was like a reverse cryptocurrency or something. Like, when he was telling people to bet that, the odds just cratered. It was incredible. For me, it would be, as far as the Vikings go, the one where I still think there's some real meat on the bone is McCarthy to win comeback player of the year, which is plus, at least last time I seen it was plus 750. McCarthy can't win Rookie of the Year because of the way that the rules are written, but the way that the rules are for the Comeback Player of the Year, this fits with the designation. It's a guy who missed his entire season. So I think people don't think about him like that because it's like, oh, he hasn't taken a snap in a regular season game, but he certainly fits the qualifiers for that award. And if he starts 15-plus games and has the success, even close to the success that I think that he and the Vikings will have, there's not many people that can challenge him for that because there's not many people that sort of fit the designation of what they consider for Comeback Player of the Year.
Interesting. Yeah, we've kicked that around. So you think voters...
You're not the only one to say that. Right.
Yeah, you think voters will look at that and say, I don't care that he missed all of last year. The guy's coming back from a full season of being away, making his first year, basically his rookie season, like you said, but he's not eligible for that award. So they'd say he's going to get my vote?
100%. I mean, this year we don't have the obvious guy, like the feel good, like Hamlin, we've had some of those in the past. And so like the other folks you're looking at, it's like who missed all of last year and then will be a good story in the season. If the Vikings win double-digit games, how many people will be able to compete with McCarthy in that argument? I just, there's not many other names that you could point to, people that are even going to be candidates on that. So getting him at plus 750 to me is a no-brainer.
All right, Thor, we have about a minute left here. Any other win total across the league, or do you have a favorite win total in college football?
One that I really like in college football is I like the over on Oklahoma. The Sooners are a team that I'm buying pretty heavy this year. Yeah, and the win total was only 6.5 for them. I was pretty stunned by that. Last year, they had all kinds of injuries in their wide receiving core. There were several weeks their top 5 receivers were all out with injury, and then they had issues with their quarterback play. Now you bring in John Mateer, quarterback from Wazoo, who is, in my opinion, a legitimate Heisman candidate. You brought in Jaden Ott from Cal. The NFL loves Jaden Ott. Jaden Ott's going to be back this year doing a bunch of stuff. And then they have one of the best OL coaches in the nation, and that guy said that the improvement that he's seen with this offensive line is one of the biggest that he has seen of any of his units, like going, 30, 40 years in coaching, whatever. And then they have Brent Venables for the defense. Oklahoma is going to be back. To me, Oklahoma is a contender in the SEC. That's a team that I think is making the college football playoff, and their win total is only 6.5. They have easy games in the non-conference as well, just utter freebies. To me, that's the best one out there.
Very good.
Great job.
Thor, awesome spot. Thanks for the time. We appreciate that.
Appreciate you, boys.
Yep.
Thank you.
We'll dive into the American Conference up next. To me, this is the biggest question surrounding the league the entire year.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We'll dive into the American Conference here, Pauly. Sadly, no longer known as the AAC. Just the American.
Yeah.
How about that? As a reminder, what happened last year, Army 12-2 overall, 8-0 in league play. Tulane 9-5, but 7-1 in league. Memphis 11-2 and 6-2 in league play. Navy was 10-3 and 6-2 in league play. Huge games this year. October 30th, Tulane plays at Texas San Antonio. November 7th, Tulane plays at Memphis. So that's a 9-day span we're talking about here. Tulane takes on 2 of the teams projected at the top along with them. on the road. Biggest stretch in the entire conference. Tulane lost 8 starters to power conference teams a year ago. I should say this offseason. The backup quarterback, 2 defensive tackles moved on to Power 4 teams as well, but they landed 20 transfers who started at least one game for FBS teams last year. And so they are going to be a very sexy pick by many to win this conference this season.
I can't get there with Tulane. I could see it with Memphis because the schedule's so easy. But I went with Texas San Antonio.
Okay.
In the guide and trailer, 22-2 in Conference USA games, 2 titles, and they won their first 7 in the American in 2023, but lost to Tulane to miss out on the title game. I think Tulane losing their quarterback is too much to overcome. The trailer's 29-4 in the Alamo Dome. They returned 9 guys on offense. I think there's pretty good value. This is like the Big 12 when you look at the odds, though. But everything
it plays out exactly the same almost.
But what you said at the top, though, I mean, everyone expected like Memphis or Tulane to get it done, and then Army and Navy came in and they were kicking ass and taking names. Nobody saw that coming, what they did. So some places I see Memphis with better odds than San Antonio. I think Navy's a little bit aggressive with the second choice.
I couldn't get there with Navy.
And the Tulane's, I know Paul Stone picked them too. I think Paul Stone picked them on the show, gave them out to win the league coming off the 9-win season. But losing the quarterback to Duke, this is a tough conference. But I'm going to have to go with the Roadrunners.
I'll expand on your team there. Their quarterback, Owen McCown, threw for 3,400-plus yards last year, 25 touchdowns. He's coming back along with 8 other starters. Their O-line is considered the deepest in the league. They're returning 4 starters and 2 2023 starters who got hurt last year. So their running attack could be outstanding. Again, they're hosting Tulane October 30th. I like Memphis. I have them in the betting guide.
Okay.
Everything in that is due today from everybody here at the network. So their offense finished in Bill Connolly's SP Plus Top 20 for the 7th time in 10 years last year. That's not going to be a problem. What is going to be a problem potentially again would be the defense. Last year they lost to Navy 56-44. They lost to your Roadrunners 44-36. They still won 11 games. Think about this for a second. They have a left tackle and a defensive end who are coming back this year. The only full-timers coming back. Every other starter left. But Brendan Lewis is in. 5,300 passing yards, 2,100 yards rushing combined at Colorado, Nevada in his years at those 2 schools. And the running game for Memphis is supposed to be lights out this season. Plus, I think that they have a very friendly schedule on top of everything else.
So what's their tough road game? What is it? Is it East Carolina? What's their most difficult road game in league?
Is that Troy going to be tricky?
I don't know about that.
You're asking them spitball. They only play, 5 road games? Oh, there's 6 on there. Okay, at Georgia State, at UAB in mid-October, at Rice, at East Carolina. Yeah, not exactly very difficult there. By the way, their win total over 8.5 is plus 115. Yeah, they host Arkansas, by the way, too.
Yeah, I would say East Carolina won 5 games, so it's ECU. November 15th. Okay. And then revenge against Navy for what happened last year in that crazy game.
Sure. They play them in the final game of the season. There's no Army on the schedule. They host Tulane, and there's no UTSA as well.
Yeah, it's funky how these, they got so many damn teams and conferences, how it's going to break with the schedules. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, the offense was great at times. Just the issue stopping people. And I know they were driving against Navy, and then the kid threw the pick 6 to make it 56-44. But got concerns about the defense, too, as they only returned 4 starters, but coming off an 11-win season. So you said, how about this, though? Is someone here good enough to make a playoff, to make the playoff?
Okay, that's my biggest question for the entire conference the entire year, right? Will the American champion pose a threat to grab that G5 automatic bid from Boise State? Like, what do they have to do? Because, Paul, you like Boise State over 9.5, juiced. I think the most likely amount of wins for Boise State this year is certainly 10 or 11 wins. Again, they're 16.5-point dogs against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So you can't expect them to win that game. Maybe they do and shock the world, but you can't expect that. I would say 10 or 11 wins. Like, what do we have to get here from a team out of this conference to actually make the people in charge say, you know what, you deserve to be in ahead of Boise State. Do they have to run the table?
With that schedule, yes.
Because I don't.
Unless Boise has multiple losses. But, I mean, they're not going to punish them unless they're embarrassed against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because it's Tulane's plus 750 at DraftKings. Memphis is 8-1.
Yeah, that's right. Even though to win the league, Memphis is like the 4th or 5th shot at DraftKings.
Yeah.
They have a shorter price than those other teams to make the playoff.
And the question marks about how good the quarterback is, but a lot of people think, he'll be fine. But you're running out of teams, though, right? I mean, if it's not going to be Boise, it's not going to be one of the top teams here. I can't see UNLV being that good with Mullen.
Neither can I.
After what they lost, so I think it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, going back over that Memphis schedule.
Yeah.
But again, like the Boise schedules, that's easy though too.
Sure, it is.
Outside of
that's the biggest takeaway. While I wrote it up in the guide, like Paul Stone said, for them to go under their win total, they're going to have to lose 2 games as double-digit favorites. Because he's got them a double-digit favorite in 11 games and a 3-touchdown favorite in half of them.
Right, so I guess...
I'm sorry. And the Liberty thing, I think, is, please, they're not going to do that either.
I don't think so. No, that's not going to happen. They would not put that team in the playoff. You're looking at such a massive point spread in a game, and no matter who they would play, and if they get blown out, that's going to be a bad look. But if you compare the Memphis schedule to the Boise schedule, like let's pretend for a second here that Memphis goes 11-1. There's a path there where that can happen.
Right.
And Boise goes 11-1, and their loss is a blowout to Notre Dame. Is the Boise schedule that much better than the Memphis schedule?
It depends what South Florida does, because South Florida plays Miami and they play some big boys too.
But and I'll point this
also,
up.
Yeah, probably not, but it depends what the rest of the league looks like in UNLV, and there's certainly the chance the Americans a better league. That's in play, yeah.
Well, possible. I mean, certainly Boise has to have a team like San Jose State play quite well. Maybe UNLV can shock the world a little bit. You brought up South Florida. They have the most returning production in the entire American Conference at about 67%. Split right down the middle, basically. 69% of the offense is back, 66%
that guy
on defense.
That guy's a good coach.
Sure he is.
They were 1-11. And they go 7-6 and 7-6 the last 2 years. That was ugly when he took over that program. 1-8, 2-10, 1-11, how bad the Bulls were. How about that schedule? Boise at home, at Florida, at Miami.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, another question, by the way, on the Memphis thing. What if they beat Arkansas at home September 20th?
Oh, yeah.
And it's impressive, and Arkansas has a good year, and they're a bowl team. And they still have a loss, and they're 11-1.
Yeah.
That might be more impressive than what Boise put together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're here at 8-1 to win to make the playoff. Or if you wanted to make take a peek at Tulane or something like that.
That's the case. To me, yeah, it's hard to get there with a San Antonio though, or something like that
to make the playoff.
At least you got
yeah.
Because at least you have Arkansas on there and some tough opponents. Well, UTSA probably gets blasted at A&M, but it goes back to also what Boise did. Boise outplayed Oregon and only lost by 3 on the road, and they were rewarded for that game. Get in on the action at First Bet. They have you covered. Sign up now. Access exclusive promotions. Bet on hundreds of thrilling horse races every day, right from your phone or computer. Visit firstbet.com. Promo code VSIN200. Get a 20% rebate on all your wages for the first 60 days, up to $200. Don't miss out. Start betting today. Firstbet.com.
Yeah, what you said, by the way, at the very top here, I think is pretty spot on. Like, I think there's an argument here for Memphis and a bet to be made on that team. We're not talking playoff now to win the league. But if you compare this to the Big 12, you can make a case for like 6 teams out of the Big 12.
Yes.
I'm listening to you talk about UTSA. It makes sense. I know others have made the case for Tulane. I could see Tulane as well. If you want to go down a little bit beyond that, I don't know if I could do Navy, like I said, but you can maybe make the case for 1 or 2 other teams in this league to say I can see them surprising maybe a little bit and winning the whole thing.
Yep. Navy at Memphis could decide it. A Thursday night game, November 27th, yes.
Oh, total revenge in the final game of the year for them.
Yeah.
Up next, Lou Finicaro going to join the program. He has been so good with NFL win totals the last couple of years on this show. We'll talk to him about what he likes this year. Next.